Hey, this is Simon. We have a lot of fun with our spoiler section and we want more of you to have access. So we've added the spoiler perk to the Landed Knight tier. Follow the link to buy me a coffee in the show notes and sign up to hear the future. Thanks. Hello, welcome to the Ghosts of Harrenhal. My name's Simon.
And I'm Mackelly.
Thank you for joining us for episode 315 of our chapter-by-chapter book review of Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. Today we'll be discussing chapter 43 of A Dance with Dragons, which is Daenerys 7.
And as always, we're going to chat about the chapter and try not to spoil any future plot points for you. Unless, of course, you have a Buy Me a Coffee Sustainer tier that includes spoilers, well, then we are going to spoil things for you. But regardless, hopefully we'll provide you some entertainment along the way.
We'll summarise what happened, discuss our thoughts on it, provide some useful background, compare it to the television show, indulge in a little pedantry, and cover some relevant news and listener correspondence. Be sure to check out the show notes. They provide some additional information about the characters and geography of this chapter. How are you, Mackelly?
I'm doing all right. Mm-hmm. It's more of a question of how are you?
I tell you what, I am doing... Everyone told me, the surgeon told me this. He said the surgery is fairly simple, but the recovery is miserable.
Uh-huh.
But I'm doing fine. I am in very little pain. I'm in, I would say, marginally more pain than I was before the surgery. Because remember, I was having surgery on something that was hurting.
Right. Yes.
So the difference is very marginal. In fact, I think today probably it hurts less than it did before the surgery.
Okay.
But the downside of it is I am in this sling which immobilizes my arm, and I have to keep this sling on 24/7 essentially for 6 weeks, which takes me to Christmas Eve. When that will be the unwrapping of quite the present.
Yes, it will. Who knows what you'll find under your armpit?
Oh God, yeah. Because that's the thing. The whole point of the sling is to keep my arm hard against my side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that gap there has been closed shut for 8 days now. No, 7 days. We're a week after my surgery.
Right, a week to the day.
Yeah.
Well, you also either are doing your best Quasimodo impersonation, or you have one large shoulder pad.
Yeah, so I have a big old bundle of bandages over the incision point, but I've never seen it. You see, because I woke up and it was already in place. So I don't know what it looks like. Right. But he said it's not a very big cut, so it is weird how big the padding is. But I guess they're trying to protect it from any knocks or anything like that. But
yes,
but it's going pretty well. This morning I woke up and I felt particularly good, and I felt able to move my lower arm quite easily.
Okay,
and I think I'm ready to type and things. But I see the doctor in 2 days, and then he'll give me the green light for that.
So you prepared this week's summary, and I was reading through it earlier today, and I could tell you did a lot of speech to text.
Exactly, because
there were things like Quentyn Martell.
Hizdahr was never Hizdahr, not once. His dog, his dark.
It was making me laugh the whole way through it.
I almost said to you, just read this whole thing phonetically, we'll be fine.
Right. I think it would have worked, yeah. Maybe you should have tried not touching anything and just reading it phonetically.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I'd never used speech to text accessibility things on computers before, but with only my left hand, which is not my dominant hand, it was a pain to type this much. I figured out how to use it, and it's really good. Apart from all of the made up words, it does not know what to do with those.
Right. It probably doesn't encounter Hizdahr all that often.
Exactly. Yeah. So I do have a couple of funny stories from the thing. So, this isn't funny. It's just really interesting. So, one of the things I had pre-surgery was they gave me what's called a nerve block. You have any familiarity with this?
The general concept. I think women get it sometimes before they give birth, right?
Okay. I did not know that. Okay.
I don't know.
I did not know that an epidural was a type of nerve block. This is news to me. But thank you.
I could be making that up, but in my mind, they're equated. So
the way it worked was the anesthesiologist came into my sort of cubicle with a ultrasound machine, and he ultrasounded my shoulder.
Oh. Okay.
And he's looking for this bundle of nerves. And when he found it, he put a hypodermic needle in and squirted that bundle of nerves with the most high-powered painkiller you could possibly do, like huge overdose.
Yeah.
It makes your arm completely dead. I mean,
my goodness.
You cannot move any of it. It took about 40 minutes to fully kick in, but slowly I could do less and less with my hand until I could just about move like my index finger for just a tiny bit, and then I couldn't even do that. Nothing. I mean, it was like I told Carson, I said, you could take a hammer to my hand at this point and I would not feel a thing. There's just no sensation, which of course is great for the surgery because the surgery didn't hurt me very much because of this.
But what a weird sensation that must be.
Amazing. I mean, just an amazing sensation. But it led to one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. So they've also given me some sort of general sedation, but I'm still compos mentis because they're still asking me name, date of birth, and what body part am I getting surgery on.
Yes, good question.
Yes, so I'm not fast asleep. I'm able to answer these questions. And they wheel me to the operating theatre. And I assume they're going to operate on the bed that I'm in. But no, when I get in there, they're like, all right, get up. I'm like, oh, man.
Get up?
Yeah, they're like, we need you to get onto the operating table. That's where we do that. I was like, okay, I see. So there's a bunch of them, and they surround me. They don't want me falling over at this point kind of thing.
Right.
And they help me. But my surgeon is actually holding my right hand, my damaged hand. Well, the hand isn't damaged, but the bad side. I've got my fingers pointing towards him. I'm demonstrating to Mackelly here.
Yes,
and he's holding the end of my fingers. Okay, and he's talking to me. I'm talking to him as they guide me onto the operating table. And while we're talking, he moves my hand maybe 8 inches to the right. Okay, so my hand was here. Yeah. He moves it across, and of course, I feel nothing, nothing at all. This nerve block is in there. So my brain sees my hand move, but gets no feedback from the nerves in my arm. So my brain says, your hand hasn't moved. And it drew in my hand back in its original position so I could see my right hand in 2 positions at the same time. Side by side. And it was like high octane CGI. I couldn't tell which one was real.
Seriously?
They were both perfect. I could see them. If I could take a screen capture and show you what I saw, you would be like, you had 2 hands for a while. You just had 2 hands.
I was 2 right hands.
And the thing is, I'm trying to have conversations with these people, but I suddenly go, oh my God, I've got 2 hands. And they're like...
That's why the surgeon did it, just to freak you out.
And the thing is, it happened again. It wasn't just a one-off. So when I blinked and reopened my eyes, it was back to just where it was.
Uh-huh.
But until I blinked, I could see it in 2 places side by side.
Goodness.
I was like, that is the wackiest thing I've ever seen.
That is.
And how quickly the brain caught up to that. It was like, well, your hand didn't move, so your hand is still there. Here, I'll show you.
Ignore that other hand. I don't know what that's doing.
Well,
your hand is where it was.
Didn't delete that one. It kept that one there as well. It's like, all right, eyes, you can tell him whatever you want, but I'm telling him where his hand actually is, and it's right there.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is fascinating.
Yeah, the whole thing with the nerve block was fascinating because at one point I could feel a cold piece of metal, and just as the sensation was leaving, I could feel a cold piece of metal against my right palm. And I said to Carson, what is that metal under my right hand? She's like, it's the side of the bed, the vertical rail to stop you falling out of bed. I'm like, well, it can't be that vertical because I can feel it underneath. My hand is palm down and I feel it on my palm. And she says, no, your hand isn't palm down. Look. And so I looked over and my palm was outwards with my palm against the thing.
So it had moved and your brain did not register that it had moved.
Didn't register this at all.
Oh my goodness.
And then this one was really weird as well. So my hand was resting on my thigh and my fingers were curled under.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I don't really think I felt it, but I started to sort of like think, I probably should stretch my fingers out, but I can't. They're just stuck there now because I can't move it. So I said to Carson, hey, will you pull my fingers out because they're kind of getting uncomfortable being curled under like that? And she said, I would, but your hand is flat on the bed here. Not only was my hand not in my thigh on my thigh. It had slipped off completely and was on the bed, and my hand was flat. And so I looked, and she was right. She wasn't lying to me. And as soon as I saw that it was flat, the sensation of uncomfortableness of the hand being curled up went away.
Wow.
So I basically understand phantom limbs now, because I was like, I was convinced this thing was curled up, and I wanted to uncurl it, but I couldn't uncurl it. Yeah. But once I knew it wasn't curled up, the sensation went away.
Wow. Yeah, you would have a really strong understanding of what people deal with when they're dealing with phantom limb syndrome.
I mean, for a guy who had half an hour of it one time when he was high as a kite, yeah.
Wow. Well, that is almost worth all the trials and tribulation that you've gone through.
I highly recommend it. If you get the opportunity, if you have to go through this, it was a genuinely. I spent that whole day agog with interesting things happening. I really was. The other one that you'll like is, I was kind of. We took a lot longer than we anticipated, because his prior surgeries were taking longer. But I was kind of. So you know the kind of setup. It was like a long hallway with different booths, like different beds, and they were sort of like curtained off from one another. I was looking out, and I saw my surgeon, and I was like, I think we're next, kind of thing. He's going to come our way. And I saw him do some paperwork, and then he walked along the beds looking in, and I thought, he's looking for me. That's what's happening here. He's looking for me. But he came from my left, and Carson was sitting on my right. So as he looked in, the first thing he saw was Carson.
Okay.
He saw Carson, and he kept walking. And then he got to the end, and he came back, and he came into my... He goes, oh, here you are.
Do you think he thinks you are hiding from him?
You know what I did? He took one look at Carson, and he went, well, I've met Simon, and there's no way. Not a chance that's his.
Just keep moving.
Yeah. I told him that. He was like, well, maybe.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, that's very fascinating stuff, but I'm glad you're on the other side of it now. And the healing
me
process.
too. Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to a shower, honestly.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's the one thing I really want.
Without a poncho.
I've been to the dentist this week as well. My life. And I told my dental hygienist, I said, Friday, if he clears me to take a shower, I'm going to take a shower, and then I'm going to take a bath, and then I'm going to take another shower again afterwards. So, that's my plan for Friday.
Spa day.
All right, super. Well, let's get down to business. How do we leave Daenerys Targaryen? Last we saw of Dany, she was visiting the citizens of Meereen as they fought the Bloody Flux. She was having dinner with her fiancé Hizdahr, spelled correctly for the last time, which was interrupted when news of Daario's return reached her. She ushered Hizdahr out and Daario in to find that the sellsword had been injured. The pair succumbed finally to the temptation that existed always between them. Mackelly, why don't we give the summary of this one?
Okay. Well, Daenerys is sleeping alongside Daario Naharis. Another night is ending, one night closer to her wedding. She's trying to wring every last moment of happiness from this time. Daario sleeps soundly. He's told her that it's an essential part of being a soldier. She can't stop touching him. If she were not a queen, she would do that for the rest of her life. But she knows that to have him, she would have to give up being a queen. And if she gave up being a queen, he wouldn't want her any longer.
She snuggles with him and wakes him. He tells her to marry him instead. She reaffirms that she cannot do that. She feels that she's been dead since Khal Drogo's passing, and Daario has brought her back to life. Part of that is his boldness. The last time he came back, he kissed her in the hall in front of all her advisors, much to Barristan Selmy's dismay. He tells her that she should marry Hizdahr, but that he will give him a set of horns. He dresses with the intent of going out, picking a fight, and killing someone. He's hoping that it is Hizdahr. He asks if she will hold court today, but she's delaying it until after the wedding, when Hizdahr can hold his own court. But Daario suggests she hold court today, so that she can meet his Westerosi captives. The one called Frog has a gift for her.
She teases him that he probably tried to steal the gift for himself. He doesn't completely deny it. When he leaves, Missandei inquires whether Dany is well. She heard screaming in the night. Dany tells her it was the wind, and that's the story we're going to go with. She looks out and sees the Yunkaii along the shore. They have brought wood to build catapults, scorpions, and trebuchets. They have no need for siege towers or battering rams, however. Famine and disease will win Meereen. That night, Daario returns so drunk he falls asleep, and Dany dreams of Hizdahr. It's not a pleasant dream. It wakes her, so she goes outside. As she looks down upon her city, she realizes it will never be hers.
The next day she holds court as promised. First up is the Green Grace, Galazza Galore. She voices concerns about the presumption of a certain sellsword captain. Dany pretends that she's referring to Brown Ben Plum's treachery while seething at the Green Grace's own presumption. After that, it's the usual tedium until later in the evening when Daario presents the Westerosi sellswords. Dany thinks of them as her people, but they are a misbegotten lot. The last three stand out as different and are presented as Gerald, Greenguts, and Frog. Greenguts is huge, Gerald, handsome, and Frog, unprepossessing. Dany welcomes them as the people of Dorne stayed loyal to her father during Robert's rebellion.
They reveal that all three of them are knights. A flash of anger passes over Daario's face. He clearly didn't know. Jairus Drinkwater and Archibald Ironwood reveal their true identities. Frog withdraws a parchment from his boot to present to Daenerys. Daario intercepts it, but can't read the Westerosi writing. Dany reads it and learns that her brother was promised to the Princess of Dorne. Barristan says that if Robert had known of this plan, he would have smashed Sunspear as he did Pike. Frog reveals himself to be Prince Quentyn Martell. Dany laughs that the frog has turned into a prince. She assumes that he has come for a kiss, hoping that their marriage would take the place of the previously arranged one. He admits that it's true.
Daario insults Quentyn as a pup. Dany puts a stop to proceedings and has the men taken to appropriate chambers. Barristan thinks that this changes everything, but Dany disagrees. She's already committed to her wedding to Hizdahr. She shakily recalls Quaith's prophecy. Quentyn could be the sun's son. That night, Dany sleeps with Daario. At dawn, he prepares to leave. She forbids him from making a sortie today. The pressure gets to them and they fight. She breaks her fast with Missandei, who tells her it's not too late, but Daenerys is committed. She dresses in a tow car but refuses the palanquin, preferring to go in a sedan chair.
Reznak and Skahaz drop to their knees and fawn over her. Quentyn makes one last overture, but Daenerys asks him to be happy for her on her wedding day. She promises that one day she will come to Westeros and claim her throne. And when she does, she'll look to Dorne for support. As she's carried through the city, she asks Barristan who her parents would have married if they had had a choice. He tells her that her mother loved a landed knight and that her father had a soft spot for Joanna Lannister, something that Tywin Lannister never forgot. Hizdahr's sedan chair pulls up alongside hers. Dany secretly hopes that Daario might come and rescue her. At the temple doors, the Green Grace awaits them. Before they enter, Hizdahr washes Dany's feet, and 4 hours later, they reemerge married. Well, congratulations to the happy couple, I guess.
Oh, so, yeah. I have to say, I mean, we've talked about it for a while. I mean, since she countenanced the idea of marrying Hizdahr, it does feel, if she's to be Queen of Westeros, her aspirations for her wedding should be greater than peace in one city in Essos.
Yeah, it's a...
I get it. She feels a sense of ownership and responsibility here that she doesn't feel about Westeros yet. But when she gets to Westeros, Hizdahr is going to be like, oh, wow, look at this, you know?
Yeah, he will carry no weight there.
Exactly. He will be like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, just along for the ride at that point.
And she's given away the one bargaining tool that she possessed to forge alliances, to seal peace, whatever. You can only use it once, but I mean, I guess something could happen to Hizdahr, but...
True. Yeah. But there's a bit of a love square going on here, because we have 4 parts to it. We've got Dany, Daario, Quentyn, and Hizdahr. So a love
yes,
diamond,
yes.
maybe?
I couldn't think of Quentyn, so I was like, does he mean Hizdahr and himself?
Daario and himself.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
She
And then she
seems...
goes for seem to have a fondness for themselves. Yeah.
Yes. Dany is, especially in this chapter, it is quite clear how smitten she is with Daario. She thinks to herself the first night, at the beginning of the chapter, that she would be willing to give up the crown if he asked her to. But the fact that she knows that Daario is attracted to her status, the fact that she is the Dragon Queen, it doesn't speak well for a solid basis for this relationship.
No, but
in its own
okay,
right.
but she stated that as a fact. But do we believe it?
We'll be right back.
Hello, friends. Are you ready to make some unforgettable memories? Well, if so, consider the Marriott Bonvoy program. Discover the perfect destination for your summer getaway and unlock exclusive deals on luxurious accommodations. With our affiliate partnership, you'll enjoy unbeatable savings and a seamless booking experience. Don't let summer slip away. Visit Marriott Bonvoy today and make this vacation season one for the books. Use our Ghosts of Harrenhal affiliate page to check it all out and buy Bonvoy points or give some as a gift. The link to our page is in the show notes. I don't know. That's a good question. I think that he does like the fact that she is the Dragon Queen, but she's also a young, beautiful woman.
Yeah. I think initially he only gave her the time of day because of who she is.
True.
But I think how upset he is that she's marrying kind of proves that he feels for her a little bit more than just because I don't think he has any real aspirations to be the king, to marry Daenerys. You know,
Agreed.
I don't think he believes that could be the case. But he's very upset about this wedding to Hizdahr.
Yeah, you're right.
And to other suitors, because Quentyn annoys him as well.
Yes, very true. Yeah, so it could just be her own personal insecurity, thinking he only wants me for who I am, not necessarily me.
Obviously, it's all tied together. She is what she is. She's you can't pull apart the various parts. I'm reminded of something that Christopher Hitchens once said, which I always thought was a very interesting thing, which is if you can imagine someone's motivation for something being a very bad thing, you shouldn't then close your mind to the fact that there might be other motivations for it as well. There may be good motivations for the same thing too. It's not just because there might be base reasons for something. And this is probably true of Daario. He probably was attracted to her because she was wealth and power.
Right.
But now he's in love with her. And if she said, come on, let's run away together, he might do it, you know?
Yeah. And speaking of being in love, this is the first person that she's loved of her choosing. She loved Drogo, but she had no say in that situation. She's marrying and then married Hizdahr. There's no love there. But she chose Daario. She fell in love like any regular girl might, which has got to be, for someone in her position, a rather intoxicating feeling. Because despite her power of rule, she is the queen. She has little control over who she marries. She has to marry for the best position, not the person she loves the most.
Yeah. I do think that if she had more I think Barristan Selmy is a problematic Westerosi influence in her life because he's too deferential.
Yeah.
If Ser Jorah was there, he's also problematic because he's got his own axe to grind.
Yes.
But I think he would be giving her stronger advice here, saying, look, don't do this. Don't do this. You need to go back to Westeros, either married to Quentyn. That's fine. You can marry Quentyn. There's a very good reason to do that. Or still single. Because if you're still single, then a lot of people will be like, whoa,
I could be the king consort if I
Yeah.
align with this young woman here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a dangerous game that she's playing with Daario, though, because he is so unruly and uncontrollable, you know?
Yes. No debate that the Green Grace was talking about him, right?
Oh yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
there's any debate in that. He kissed her in the hall, as in the description, in front of for all the world to see. So surely that either Galaza Galare was there and saw it, or it got back to her that this had happened. So yeah, I don't think there's any chance that it was actually Brown Ben Plum that she was referring to.
Right. Mhm.
But if they can hold it together, until Dany and Hizdahr are married and the Slaver's Bay can find peace, maybe, as over time Hizdahr is king, he's holding court in the city and stuff. Maybe it matters less what she might be doing on the side,
True.
possibly.
True. I mean, the one thing I'm pretty sure of Hizdahr is that he doesn't care. Like his reaction when she left supper with him to go and tend to Daario was annoyed, but not like I would have been annoyed.
Right.
There was no jealousy in his annoyance. He was just,
agreed.
One thing I noticed was right at the beginning of the chapter, she talks about the fact that she's just not sleeping, even though Daario is there by her side. She's not sleeping at all. And some of it is kind of just general insomnia. Some of it is she wants to sort of spend every minute she can awake with Daario. But it got me thinking about that, actually. And I just read something quite recently about a phenomenon called paradoxical insomnia, which is, there is real insomnia, but paradoxical insomnia is when you believe that you were insomniac, but in fact you were asleep.
Huh.
And apparently it's quite common. So a lot of people who believe themselves to be insomniac are actually just paradoxically insomniac.
This is not quite the same thing, what I'm about to say.
Please
sometimes I tend to snore when I'm on my back. And sometimes Stacy will tell me to roll over on my side because I'm snoring. And I will say, I wasn't even asleep. And she'll say, oh, yes, you were. Either that or you snoring while you're awake. So,
No, that's related. And funnily enough, actually, wearing my sling, I can only sleep on my back. And apparently I have been raising the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd mention that. Maybe Dany was sleeping more than she realizes.
Yeah, probably. I think she was trying to stay awake as much as she could because she wants to savor the hours. But probably, as you say, not fully awake the whole time.
Yeah. So the Yunkaii they haven't led up their naval blockade. I mean, they obviously, peace is in the air based on this wedding, but it's not like they went home on the assumption, especially, presumably, if any of their spies were watching Daario kiss her in the hall, they were like, I'm not sure this wedding is going to happen, to be honest.
Get those trebuchets ready.
Yeah. And of course, there's no wood for siege towers or any kinds of machines of war. So the Yunkaii are actually bringing it in by ship and building things here on the beach, which is just your military dominance is really proven when you can just ship in raw materials to build more weapons right in front of your enemy.
Yeah, one weapon they're not building is battering rams and such, because they don't want to damage the city, because they know that it's a ticking time bomb in there because of the famine and the disease of the Pale Mare, the bloody flux.
Oh, I have another thing about sleep, actually. So she's not sleeping, but Daario sleeps, and he brags about his ability to sleep. We have a friend at work. You may not know James as well as I do, but he's from the African nation of Ghana.
Okay. Yeah.
As opposed to the town near here called Ghana.
Right.
I feel obliged to identify these things. And they have military service, and so he's been in the army. And one thing he learned to do in the army there was to sleep in any position. Okay. And I've been on a metro with him in I've been to so many places, Lisbon or Madrid, and he was holding the sort of you get those dangly things you can hold to stop you, and fell asleep just standing there with his hand up. we were on this metro for 25 minutes, and he fell asleep while he stood there. I was like,
that's quite the ability.
Talent. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Can you imagine?
Right. Oh, That would be. I wonder though, does it translate into when he gets into bed under the covers with his head on his pillow, or is that when his eyes pop wide open?
Yeah.
Because that tends to be the issue for me throughout the day. I could nod off somewhere, but when I lay in bed, it's like, then that's when it's like, okay, now time to sleep. Oh wait, now I can't sleep.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was going to say was that they're waiting. Yunkaii is waiting for either Meereen to fold or Hizdahr to make peace. And Dany is betting everything on Hizdahr's ability to follow through on that promise, including this strong alliance in Westeros and her, at this moment, her very best shot at regaining the Iron Throne. So it's pretty important that he be able to follow through on what he's promised.
She doesn't know Quentyn very well. Obviously.
Right. Yes.
We don't know him all that well. But I have a feeling that he would see a certain nobility in her refusal to say, look, this would be great for me, but it's come too late. I'm already betrothed and I'm getting married and I can't cancel this.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I'm doing it for real reasons, believe me, if I was marrying Daario, you'd have every reason to be annoyed with me. But
she's honoring her word, and that's admirable.
Right.
Even if he's incredibly disappointed, that's
admirable
as well.
So I wonder if the alliance can survive this, is what I'm saying. I think if Quentyn behaves the way he has to this point, I think he would defend her actions, even though he is disappointed.
Yeah. Now, we do get the reveal. We already knew, because Dorne told Arianne in our hearing, because we're in her POV, what the information that the letter contained. But it was still fun. It was good to see someone finally make it to their destination and theoretically
impart information.
do the thing they were supposed to do. Sadly, Dany was not impressed much by Quentyn.
No.
Unsure if he were better looking, like Garrus, if that would have had more impact, if she would have been more interested. Unlikely. I think she's marrying Hizdahr for what he can offer. She does think of him as good looking, but I don't think that really factors in. So
yeah, honestly, looks are overrated, says Simon desperately, trying to convince the world.
They are, right? They are, right?
Tell me. But Quentyn seems like a nice lad, so that's a good thing. That'll serve you well when you're old and not as attractive,
Yes, well, that's all very true. But so back to what you were talking about at the beginning of our discussion. She in one of the mornings, she's looking over her city and thinking it never will be her city. It will never be her home. And it becomes clear that she's marrying Hizdahr to create peace here in Meereen and Slaver's Bay, out of a I broke it, I bought it, now I need to fix it, than anything else. Because she's forsaking Westeros over Meereen, and even as she stands there and looks out at the city and thinks this will never be my city or my home. So
yeah, when you think that, you've got to be tempted to just flee at that point. I mean, we've talked about this before. Go now. Nobody. Oh, well, to say nobody would miss you is not true. The people who get re-enslaved, but because of your departure, would. Right. But at the same time, one person can't control the whole thing, and the city has proven itself unwieldy, unmanageable when it comes to, getting rid of this propensity towards slavery. So,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, but yeah, she's forsaking. She's doing whatever she can to try and fix it as best as she can. I think she's given up hope that she will be able to, as you say, completely abolish slavery in Slaver's Bay, and now she's just trying to get peace reestablished. But I gotta say, I do feel for Quentyn and company. They came a long way to be rejected And now what? Do you give up and go home? I certainly could understand Quentyn feeling like a failure. His long, perilous journey costing lives. He gets here, he gives the letter, and she rejects him, and that's got to be really tough.
I don't know. If I'm them, I read the tea leaves and I say, let's stick around. Let's stick around and see what happens here. Word is she's got a fancy man on the side. She might bear a daughter. I'm only 20. I wouldn't be that much older than that daughter. Maybe I can marry the next generation of Targaryens, cementing the alliance.
Yeah.
Or she has a boy. Arianne can marry the boy,
We'll be right back.
This episode is sponsored by Audible. To get a free audiobook, or 2 if you're an Amazon Prime member, go to our exclusive URL, audibletrial.com/ghostsharrenhal. You can find the link in our show notes. Yeah, or I agree, stay the course. It's not over yet. She is married, yes, but she does plan to take Westeros at some point, and as we were talking about earlier, Hizdahr is of absolutely no use in Westeros. He's an outsider. He doesn't help her in any way. Wait around. Maybe Hizdahr doesn't survive. Maybe she decides to leave Hizdahr in Meereen to rule Meereen.
Right.
Sail for Westeros with Quentyn.
That makes a lot of sense to me that would happen. And she can say, hey, Targaryen exceptionalism. I'm allowed to have a husband over there and one over here. We weren't married in the light of the 7. I'll get married in the light of the 7 over here.
Yeah, that's a good point. They weren't married in the light of the 7, as you say. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it would be hard pressed for her to find a better Westerosi prospect than the the son of the Prince of Dorne, Doran Martell. Yeah. Unless, if Tyrion shows up and she married a Lannister of Casterly Rock, maybe that would carry more weight. But
it's hard to see that one helping though, because think about it from Dorne's perspective. Dorne stayed loyal to her through thick and thin. They stayed quiet like a snake in the grass for the last 15, 16 years. But the whole time they were loyal. The Lannisters were not. The Lannisters murdered her father. Yes. And just because they're wealthier and more powerful, you're going to marry them, not us?
That's a very good point. That makes a lot of sense. And also, even though technically Tyrion was Tywin's heir, not many people in the Westerlands are willing to see it that way. So
probably true. Yes, probably true. Yeah.
And just as a reminder, so the whole point of this court being held today was so that Dany could meet the Westerosi group of sellswords that defected from the Windblown to Dany's side, the Stormcrows. And just a reminder of how that came about is, remember, the Dornish group were going to escape from the Windblown, and then at the last minute, the Tattered Prince, the captain of the Windblown, said,
"Told them to escape."
Yes, brought all the Westerosi together and said, "You're going to pretend to escape and defect to Daenerys' side, so that if things go poorly on the Yunkaii side, we'll have you on the Daenerys on the Meereen side." So he was trying to play both sides of the war here. So that's how they ended up where they are right now.
Yeah. So Quentyn mentions that Dorne brings 50,000 swords. But we know that Doran has said previously that that's not really true. That's kind of the number they like to brag about. But realistically, it's a lot less than that. They're more by reputation than they are by actual numbers.
Yes, that number was thrown out there by King Daeron I after conquering Dorne to make it sound like more of an achievement, according to Dorne anyway. And the Dornish have not corrected, as you said. They like to let it be thought that they have that many.
But I think when we talked about this at the time, we talked about the fact that when you're fighting in Dorne, you can look like 50,000. You've got the defensive positions and you're good fighters. But if you have to go storm King's Landing, people are going to take a head count.
There's no way that's 50,000 people. Yeah. That's at best 15,000.
do like a bicycle pursuit thing where the guys at the front run round to the back.
Right. Now, the exact numbers of the military force for Dorne have not ever been provided, but George Martin did say that they can rally about the same as the North and the Vale. So,
right,
not nothing for sure, but not the Reach either.
Yeah.
So,
how did it go when the North tried to usurp the Seven Kingdoms recently?
They did win all their battles.
They did win all their battles until they all got killed. Okay, yeah, that's
if
true.
the king had married the right woman, maybe it would have worked out differently.
Okay. Just check.
But one last thing I wanted to mention about this scene here is that the whole point is that Frog wants to give Dany this gift, and nobody knows what the gift is. But I'm thinking, as I was reading this, if I were Daenerys, after the whole wine merchant incident in Vase Dothrak, I would be very suspicious of any gift from a random Westerosi.
Yeah. I wouldn't let anyone saying, I've got a gift, I'm not going to reveal it until I'm in there with her.
Yeah.
They don't even get in the hall. Yeah?
Right.
Look,
yeah.
I don't have to have the gift, but you have to show it to me right now.
Yes.
And if you pull a piece of parchment out of your sock, then I think that's a pretend gift, and the real gift is a dagger in your other sock.
Or the ink is poisoned or something like that, you know?
But even, I mean, maybe, but she doesn't
Especially
have to
for the
touch
Dornish,
it.
You know?
Yeah. That's true. That is true. So Barristan thinks that Quentyn's arrival and proposal has changed everything, but Dany says it's changed nothing. Again, I wish he was a better advisor. You know, I just wish he was, because he's right. Yes. It does potentially change everything, but you've got to convince Daenerys of that, and just telling her it changes everything, she can reject it out of hand. She's queen.
Right. Yeah. Two very different perspectives here. Barristan has always been focused on winning back the Iron Throne.
Right.
Dany has been focused on peace in Meereen and Slaver's Bay. Remember, Barristan wanted her to take Xaro's Carthene ships and sail for home when he offered them. So, yeah, that's where his mind is. You are the rightful heir to your father's throne. Let's go do that and quit messing around here in Slaver's Bay.
Yeah. So Dany ponders last night's dream of Hizdahr with blue lips to some of Quaith's earlier prophecy. She doesn't remember the prophecy very well. She should listen to the podcast. We mention it quite often. But she does notice, she asks Barristan what Martell's sigil is. And it was, of course, the sun and spear. And so Quentyn could be the sun's son, because she remembers the pale mare and the sun's son. But the one thing she really remembers is the perfume seneschal. That's the one she can't shake. Which
is ironic, because it's the least useful if it's what we think it is. If it was the Selasori Quran, it's the least useful of all the prophecies.
I mean, the chances of those words ever reaching her ears, even if all of the people who survived the shipwreck get to her, it would take one of them saying, well, let me tell you about my day, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny that that's the one she really remembers. But I was thinking, that's some pretty good deduction skills, that the sun's son bit, because she's not from Westeros. So she's not all that familiar with Westerosi sigils. Yeah. And for her to think, hey, what is the sigil of House Martell? It's the sun in splendor with the spear through it. Oh, yeah. I remember this vague memory I have of this prophecy at this point, because she didn't write it down like we did.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe this is who Quaith was talking about, the sun's son.
I think she's probably had some training in heraldry of Westeros.
Probably,
because she didn't just say randomly, what is the sigil of House Martell? She she was like, wait a minute, what is the sigil of House Martell?
Yes, but it's quite a good leap in deduction there that
she's smart.
pulled that out of her head. She's
got assets.
She impressed me. She definitely impressed me.
So on the way to the wedding, Dany has a conversation with Barristan Selmy about who her parents' previous loves were, who they would have married for love had they not been forced to marry one another. And Barristan tells that Rhaella once was in love with a promising knight. And when she married Aerys, that knight retired from jousting and became very pious. I don't know who this is, Mackelly, but it sounded like he was talking about himself to me.
Well, yeah, except for the pious part and the putting away the lance. He was still jousting up into...
Right, he was, but I wondered if he meant it more metaphorically.
So just over a year ago, we learned about a knight that Jaime said gave up a promising tourney career for the faith, and Jaime at the time was thinking to us about it, that it must have been some incident or defeat, humiliating defeat or brush with death or something that caused this abrupt change in this knight's direction. That knight was also the leader of the Holy Hundred and currently the Castellan of Harrenhal, a man named Sir Bonifer Hasty, who happens to be from the Stormlands, as Barristan said that this knight that Rhaella was in love with. So it very well fits that Sir Bonifer Hasty is the knight in question.
I was too hasty in my...
I get it. I like what you did there.
And so, but by contrast, I mean, that's kind of sweet. You know, he crowned her the Queen of Love and Beauty at a tournament and things. So, you know, it's all that kind of thing is nice romance of these books. Aerys lusting after Joanna Lannister, that has a different feel to it.
Yeah.
And he mentioned when Tywin got married, right? He mentioned the idea
during the bedding. Yes, during the ceremony and then during the bedding.
That he thought they should bring back the idea of lords having the first rights to a new wife. I cannot imagine Tywin Lannister just sloughing that off as, the wine talking.
No, not someone like Tywin Lannister. And apparently he took inappropriate liberties during the bedding ceremony with Joanna as well.
I see, because basically she gets undressed by the men.
Yes.
So it's already fairly inappropriate, but you can imagine how it might go more inappropriate. Yes.
Now, we know that bad blood creeped in between Aerys and Tywin. Most people believe that it was Aerys's jealousy of Tywin's credit for ruling the realm that began this bad blood, and that it was cemented when Aerys rejected Cersei and Rhaegar's proposed marriage, and then made worse when Aerys made Jaime Kingsguard, robbing Tywin of his heir. So, but this is a new twist in the plot here. Did this cause the, or at least intensify the rift? So, I'll say this.
Even precipitate it. I mean, because it feels like this is the first
this
element
was before
of this.
A lot of that. It was definitely before. You'll tune into background for more on this story. And I'll fit some pieces in together.
When Dany arrives at the temple for the ceremony, she's met by the Green Grace, and she's surrounded by her attendant graces of different colors, and she notices that the number is significantly diminished, and Dany tells us, but we could have inferred it for ourselves, they were in the front lines of looking after the dying people from the Bloody Flux, and so they have themselves been decimated by the Bloody Flux, which is pretty horrible.
Absolutely. Yeah, she specifically notices Azara is missing from the Graces in attendance, and just a reminder who that is, she was the Blue Grace who attended Patient Zero, the man on the dying horse, and she was with the Green Grace when they met with Dany and told Dany about that man. And So obviously this is all a result of the pale mare, the bloody flux.
Yeah.
And somehow it seems to have spread inside the walls, despite the quarantine, possibly from the actions of last chapter when she had half her force out there burning the dead and whatnot. Yeah. And Daario seems to leave on sorties, and maybe so others are doing that as well.
Yeah, good point.
The chapter does end on a slight positive note, though, because when they arrive at the temple, Hizdahr washes Daenerys' feet, and she notices he has gentle hands, and she thinks, if he has a gentle heart, I may grow fond of him in time, which is great news for Slavers Bay and Meereen. Not so great for prospects in Westeros.
No, true.
But, it's still a slight positive note that she does have a nice thought about her new husband.
Yeah. That he's soft and gentle, I believe, but I also think he might be calculating and ruthless as well.
Yes, I completely agree.
All right. Time for some spoilers. Remember, if you join us at the upper tiers of the Buy Me a Coffee Sustainer levels, you get the spoilers. And if you're interested, you can try it out for a week for free. All right. Excellent spoilers as always, Mackelly. Thank you so much. Now,
Certainly.
Take a little drink of water. What about some background?
All right. Well, so I promised you that I was going to fill you in a little bit about Joanna.
Yes, do tell.
Aerys. So Barristan, like we said, tells Dany about her parents' romantic interest prior to their marriage. So here's what I can tell you about any romantic interests between Joanna and Aerys. So Joanna came to King's Landing in 259 AC for the coronation of King Jaehaerys. According to rumors, Joanna gave her maidenhead to then Prince Aerys the night of the coronation. He was married to his sister Rhaella at the time, as Rhaegar was born during the tragedy of Summerhall that led to Jaehaerys' crowning. Joanna stayed in King's Landing as lady-in-waiting to Prince Rhaella, and more rumors suggest that she was Aerys' paramour when he himself ascended the crown. However, many, such as Grand Maester Pycelle, dispute the rumors, citing that Tywin would never have married Joanna if he knew her affair with Aerys was true. Regardless, Tywin and Joanna did marry, and as we discussed, as the story went on, the king was heard to say that during their wedding ceremony that it's a shame that the right of first night had been abolished. First night might have been disallowed, but that didn't prevent the king from apparently taking inappropriate liberties with the new bride during the bedding ceremony. Possibly Queen Rhaella took notice, as shortly afterward, Joanna was dismissed from her queen's court and returned to Casterly Rock. The queen turned a blind eye to most of her husband's infidelities, but not with her own ladies. It seems that Joanna wasn't the only of Rhaella's ladies to be sent packing for that reason.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Leave them hungry. Thank you. Excellent. Comparison with the television show, Hizdahr never marries Daenerys in the TV show.
Oh, okay.
And I shan't say exactly what came to pass, because that might be a spoiler for what's going to come to pass. But
all right.
They never married. They were betrothed, but it didn't come to pass. Quentyn Martell was entirely dropped from the TV show, did not exist. Dany herself reopens the fighting pits on Hizdahr's behalf. She does so along with proposing to Hizdahr to bring peace, which it does for a while.
All right.
So Pedantry Corner, I got really confused by timing here. Because,
I know, yes.
But did you understand why I was confused?
Yes, because she kept talking about nights and days, but it was unclear whether she was referring to the night they were in as that night, or when you're
talking at 4 a.m. and you talk about tomorrow. When do you mean? Do you mean 3 hours from now?
When the sun comes up,
exactly, or do you mean the day after? So that got me confused. Ultimately, I don't think there was any pedantry here. She tells Daario to bring the Westerosi to court tomorrow, but she seemed to mean later today. But that's not true. It was, in fact, the whole extra day away, because they have another night together before that thing. So it was right. It was just deeply confusing for a while.
There is the night where the chapter started. There was the night when Daario showed up drunk.
Yes.
Then the next day.
Yes. Yes.
And then the next day is when she met the windblown
Exactly.
Westerosi, and then
she
that
slept
next
with Daario
night
again. She has 3
Yes.
nights with Daario in this book.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
It was all confusing. I was, by the way, I was addled with drugs this whole week, so my inability to understand is somewhat excused.
That's why this episode is so good.
You know what, though? Actually, I was given narcotics for the pain, but I only took them on the Thursday. I was off them by the Friday. Yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic, actually. Yeah.
And since then, just Tylenol, paracetamol.
Perfect. I don't have any pedantry, but I did wonder why. Daenerys explains a little bit. She said the last meeting she had with the Green Grace did not go well. But I was thinking, why would Galaza Galare insist on going first at court and then say, could we speak in private? If you were wanting to speak in private, wouldn't you come either before court or stay until after court? So I thought it was a little odd, but it's character decision, and it's it's kind of explained.
Also, you don't know how she's protected. It may be that nobody from outside her inner circle is allowed to make any contact with her until these public thingjigs. So
I would think that's true for most people, but the Green Grace seems to get special treatment. So I just thought it odd.
Yeah.
She's the first one to speak, and she says, can we speak in private? And I'm like, well, why'd you go first then?
Yeah.
Why'd you go last?
I wonder, it's an interesting point. I wonder if maybe she never intended for that to be done in private. She wanted to publicly shame her.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, it was intentional all along. Yeah, makes sense.
News and notes.
Well, once again, we don't have a whole lot of news and notes this week, but we do have a new sustainer. Jim the Small has joined us. Yes.
Fantastic.
So, wow, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate that. And welcome. That's fantastic.
Has he joined the Discord server? Have we met him on the Discord server yet?
I don't know. That name doesn't sound familiar. So,
Jim, join us on the Discord server. We'd love to get to know you.
Absolutely.
All right, let's conclude this one. I think we all feel for Quentyn. It's, he has gone on an odyssey to get here, and to arrive one day early from the thing you desperately did not want to happen, only for it to happen anyway, has got to be a dagger,
Absolutely, yeah. Like we've discussed, Dany's addressing the immediate need, fix what's broken in Slaver's Bay, but she's really doubling down on Meereen being the priority over Westeros here.
Yeah.
Because that's the choice she made. Now, like you said, she's honoring her commitment, and that's honorable, but it might not be the best long-term decision. Yep.
We've mentioned in this book before that sometimes sticking to your honor can be a bad thing. Paging Ned Stark. I think it's short-sighted of Dany to reject Quentyn in favor of Hizdahr. I think it's a short-term game for a long-term big miss. There was something really important here, and you walked away from it for a short-term gain, which again, huge sympathy. There's horrors being perpetrated in this city that you can stop by doing this.
Right.
Hard to not do that, but you've got bigger fish to fry as well.
I agree. In the moment, looking at the faces of your people in Meereen that will be affected, it would be hard to forsake them and say, I'm marrying Quentyn, I'm headed out of here, you guys are on your own. So I get it, but yes, I do think the bigger prize is her rightful claim to the Iron Throne. So
yeah.
But there's a fourth member of this diamond, love diamond here.
Hizdahr's reflection? No, Daario, that's right.
How will it all play out between Dany and Daario now that she's a married woman? She said to even lust after her is treason now that she's married.
Yes, and also he brazenly said that he was going to give Hizdahr a pair of horns for his wedding gift. Which, if you don't understand the illusion, a cuckold, someone who's being cheated on, is said to have horns. So
right.
That's what he's been given here.
Yes. So it sounds like they're very much at odds. She thinks, okay, that was it. We had our time together, and now I'm married. He thinks I'm going to give him horns, which I would take to mean I'm not planning on stopping what we've been doing now once you become married.
I think so.
Who will win out? Will they stick to the plan of keeping their hands off each other? She's committed to fixing Meereen, and maybe that will stay any straying hands on her side anyway.
Yeah. We can only hope this marriage brings an end to the war and peace to the city. That's the point. That's what she's done it for. If that doesn't come to pass, she's going to feel real stupid about her previous decisions.
Right. But will ultimately all of this have been for nothing? Yunkaii wants a return to slavery. They're not going to settle for anything less than a return to slavery.
Yeah, it does feel like they are mice and she's a cat, and the minute she leaves,
right,
the mice will have their way again. So, and eventually she's got to leave. Eventually she's got to.
Right. And I can't help but have the feeling that she has been manipulated to exactly where either Hizdahr or the Great Masters or both of them wanted her to be, turning control back over to Hizdahr of the city. And, the Sons of the Harpy were killing until Hizdahr said stop, and they stopped. So...
And again, I point just a small finger of blame here at Barristan Simple Selmy. He is a simple knight who knows how to... He is a hammer, and everything looks like a nail to him, And what she needs is someone like Tyrion Lannister, someone who's got a deft understanding of the implications of decisions to guide her.
Very true. Yeah, Tyrion might be a really huge help if he ever makes it to her.
Yeah.
But finally, this has now been several chapters with no dragon sightings. Is she still the Queen of Dragons? 2 are locked in a dungeon and 1 is gone.
Is it a question of CGI budget?
It might be. The word dragon is too expensive to print in this book.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, she does feel like she's run away from her dragons and abandoned them. Those that haven't abandoned her.
Right. Yeah. 2 of the 3. Yeah.
Okay, next week we're back to Jon at the Wall. See how things are going there. I can't remember where we left him. Did he get rid of Val? Cole, probably.
Yes,
safe
definitely.
Bet. Yeah. Well, there's 3 ways that you can help us. You could leave us a 5-star rating and possibly a review. You could buy us a cup of Arbor Gold at buymeacoffee.com/ghostsharrenhal, or you can where you can join us at any of the various sustainer levels. There's a tier to match your budget and interest, and you get 1 week free trial for any of them. Or you can make a donation directly to our cause at our website, ghostsofharrenhal.buzzsprout.com.
And if you're looking for more ways to interact with us, well, one thing you could do is you could send us a text. The link is at the top of every episode show notes. Please just keep in mind we have no means of responding to you, but we do enjoy reading them. If you're interested in keeping up on the latest Ghosts of Harrenhal news and developments, well, you can always check us out on our social media. You can follow us on Twitter at Ghosts Harrenhal, or on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, and YouTube.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.